Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then hi! I have really dirty hands, and the reason for that is I've been playing with clay. I've conditioned the clay by giving it a good squash and a squeeze and rubbing it around, and for some reason I forget that putting water on the clay on a little silicone mat means it's going to run off, or in this case, jump off. Now, this is a collaboration with GERTCREATES. That's Kirky and Nikki and Kirky. And this is Craft Quest. Now, I was going to do something rather elaborate, and then I thought, but what do I do? That's the thing. So, because it's took me so long to figure out what I want to do in my head, which I'm still not there, I thought I'd do this. And I actually quite like it. It's turned out quite well. I'm surprised. I didn't think it'd work, because I'm doing this disc and I'm not really, well, I am building on it, but I'm taking away. So I'm kind of sculpting down. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm sculpting down. So I'm cutting pieces away to make a shape, and hopefully the shape looks like it's supposed to do. I think it does. In fact, I'm looking at it now thinking, I like that. Yes, it could do with probably a couple of tweaks here and there, but it's mine. It's my style. It's not the original, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is for a game. It is called, and if you don't know it, have you been laying under a rock? It is called Oh, Ecky Thump. Oh my brain. It's called wait a minute. I'm going to go look it up, because my brain has just gone nope. Well, as soon as I switched it off, the microphone that is, it came straight back into my brain. Mortal Kombat. This is for Mortal Kombat. Oh my god, my brain. So if you ever remember the immortal words, finish him. Yes, that was from that game. I was not very good at this game, as in, I had no idea what buttons to press, how to do a finishing move, anything. But I was very good at winning. And do you know how I won? I pressed every button I could possibly find as fast as lightning. And I used to babysit for these two lads, and yeah, they were buggers. I mean, I still talk to them now, and they're adults, and it's like, oh god, I feel old. Yet, in reality, they were only a few years younger than me. So, they're not that much younger than me still, so, you know, just I always saw them as kids. Weird. And they belong to my friend, who's no longer with us, and we used to play, what's that game? Altered Beast and Mortal Kombat. And Altered Beast I weren't very good at, but Mortal Kombat I could whoop their backsides. I loved it, and it was only because I was going like hell for leather. It's probably why my hands are so bad now, because I can't do Guitar Hero either, and I used to do that on the old pad, and I could do that really quickly. So yeah, it's probably why my hands are so rotten. Oh god. So I am using my trusty nail file as a cutter to dig out the dragon, and I'm looking at it thinking, it's gonna collapse, it's not gonna work. And I've made it thick enough that if I just go halfway down, then it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And I'm trying to smooth it down with fingers as I'm going, but that's not quite working. And so I use the end of, what do I use the end of? Oh, the end of my silicone tool, you know, my favourite one, and just a little bit of water. Now the trick is to this is dampen it every now and again, just to make sure it doesn't go dry too quickly. And I'm using the mat underneath to store the excess, because I can use that for the little bits that I'm going to add on. And I am going to put on some details of the, they're not horns, maybe, fronds, things that stick out from his head, you know, things like that. And the detail down his neck and into his chest, but you're only going to see a little bit of his chest anyway. And I've left the eye as a whole, because I will be filling that with a nice yellow and then a UV to go on the top. At the side there is a baby wipe that's got some clay, not a baby wipe, a floor wipe, because that's where I used to clean up. So I've watered it down and just given it a little squeeze and wrapped my clay up in it, just in case I want to use any more. But I don't want it to dry out, you see, so it works a treat. And you can see I'm using the end, the rounded end of the tool, just to try and smooth inside where all the spaces are. And I will use something else a little bit smaller. There we go, that one. Told you. I just couldn't remember what it was. So my smaller silicone tool, just to get into the pointy bits. I do faff with this quite a lot, but I have sped it up, so you're not having to be sat here waiting for me to do the tiniest little thing. Nobody has time for that. It's boring too. I mean, I don't find it boring. I could just disappear into this sort of thing. I love playing with clay. It's just very therapeutic. But just to remind you that there will be a link in the description box for a playlist, and I shall put Nikki and Kirk's channel down in there too. Kernick's. Get my tongue in. Oh dear. Please check them out, because there's going to be some fantastic pieces of work in there, and all different. And I can imagine there's going to be some absolutely fantastic stuff. So I've done that bit, and now I'm going to roll out little thin snakes of clay, just to put some detail in. And these are teeth, fangs I suppose. You'll see that I've painted them white at the end, but then they change in the pictures. For some reason I'd got it into my head they were teeth. They're not teeth. They're like a fang, but not a fang. Oh dear. I'm going to say fronds again, like the rest of them that's going to be attached. Oh dear. Oh. And then I also made them a little bit too big, so then I had to do some paint magic by painting them a little darker around the edges so they look smaller. That was until I realised that actually they weren't supposed to be white. And I was looking at a reference picture at this. It's like I go blind sometimes. Talking of blind, my husband asked me for a certain packet of rounded off files earlier on today. I have been through every drawer, every calyx box, every place I could think of, sat back down on my chair, and they were right there next to me, on my set of drawers, staring at me. And I hadn't seen them until I sat back down again. I just don't understand it. It does not make sense. How could I not see them? It's not the first time today. I've had a load of issues today with my brain. So now I'm going to paint all of this white because it's dry. It took 3 days because of the thickness, and I had to keep flipping it, letting it dry, flip it. Now I thought that might have still been wet, but I checked it. I did the old flick test. And if you don't know what the flick test is, go to Red Rocking Bird. She teaches you a lot about air dry clay. Awesome. In fact, I'll link her too. And she taught me that if you flick it and it sounds almost hollow, then it's dry. And that's the sound I got. It was brilliant. So I'm painting it all white, even though I'm going to paint it mostly black. Well, not black, but yeah, it's going to be dark. So really, I didn't really need the white base, but oh well. And this paint it's a bit, I know it's PBO, whatever you want to call it. I know it's supposed to be good paint, but I think it's a little bit thin. Especially the white is anyway. But for 50p, I'm not grumbling. It was on at a discount, so, you know, you don't pass that up. 50p for that much paint? Yeah, no brainer. So I'm doing the sides as well as the front, but I don't do the back till later, so I've got something to hold on to. And I was kind of umming and ahhing on whether to actually do the back or leave it there. I've also drilled in 2 little holes at the top because I'm going to make it into a little dangly thing, a hanger, medallion type thing. Yeah, that'll do, medallion. Add a couple of hooks and a bit of chain. And when this bit's dry, I start adding in my darker colours. And it doesn't take long to dry at all. So I make sure it's all nicely coated because I don't want the paint that I'm going to put on to seep in, to soak in. So this is my base layer. So then the next layer will be the actual painting. This is supposed to look like it's got fire behind it, and I've got these lovely paints. And they are called, 1 minute. They are called, oh good grief, Beebee. Yeah, and I got them from Amazon. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the description box. You use the tiniest amount of paint. These are going to last me a very long time. So all I need to do now is find the same make but with different sort of paints, because these are iridescent acrylics and I want some that's just your bog standard colours, and possibly some sort of, I don't know. So I just want paint. I like paint. I like anything coloury. So now I've done a bit of a red and a black as the outside, and I'm going to paint red and black dragon. So it looks more like metal that's got hot. At least that's what it'll look like towards the end when the light hits it. I mean, I'm looking at it now and it's in my living room in not natural light, so the natural light might be a bit of a difference, and I have only put natural light ones in pictures. I mean, right now it looks awesome. I'm hanging it off my computer because it's got these little knobs on end. I like it. I really do like it. I really enjoyed it, and I'm one of those, if I enjoy something, then I can't stop until it's done. So you can imagine my frustration. I mean, 3 whole days of waiting and waiting, just flipping it over every now and again. And that bit where I just disappeared was my husband giving me a cup of tea. Because he knows I just get stuck in the zone and I can't get out of it. Oh no, he wasn't giving me a cup of tea at the time. He was passing me my scissors back. Because he knows if he doesn't give me my scissors back, then he'll definitely know how to find them next time. I don't know about anybody else, but us crafters, we have a thing about putting the scissors back so we know where they are. At least I do. And I have lost a pair of scissors, a really good pair of scissors, due to somebody borrowing them and not putting them back. And they were my favourite scissors. So yes, the joke around here is, if you don't put them back, you will definitely find them next time. Just turn around, everybody will see. And if you don't get that, you can ask me. I don't mind saying. But you can see this going on very thinly at the minute. It is going to need 2 coats to cover the white. See, if I'd have just painted it grey or black in the first place, it wouldn't have been such an issue. But I was thinking about the actual background and not the rest of the dragon. And so I want the background to be lighter to build up, whereas this I want it to be darker and build down. I don't even know if I'm making sense. Probably not. My cat's just decided to jump on my back. So-and-so. It's a good job I've just clipped her nails. I swear she thinks I've got food. I haven't. And with this brush, I found that it's good to get in all the bigger parts, but the little tiny nooks and crannies, then yeah, need a much tinier brush. So I've painted my first coat. I've put on my reds, red and black, my red and yellow, and now it's time for the iridescence. And oh my god, I love these paints. I did put quite a big blob in the eye. I won't lie. That's probably the most paint I've used out of these so far. And like I said, I haven't used a lot of paint at all. But you can see how it's now starting to look more hot metal. Yeah, hot metal. At least I think that's. I see hot metal. I don't know about anybody else. I do have lights glaring in my eyeballs though. Oh dear. But yeah, I did have these. I'm gonna paint them teeth, fangs, things. Why? Such a muppet. They just don't need to be white. They really don't. Unless I've already just painted over them and then I'm not sure. You might have missed that bit. I might have missed that bit. It's not hard for me to miss bits. So I'm going in just mixing the red with the yellow. And now I'm going to go around parts of the dragon and definitely around the frame. Now it's a bit of a mixture of carved stone that looks like metal. I think the symbol does, logo or whatever you want to call it. Emblem? Medallion? One of them words. Either one will fit. So now it's starting to come more to life. And the shine is just beautiful. And when I've done this, I will put a coat of clay varnish over the top, just to seal it and make it all nice. And when the bottom's been painted, signed and don't know what I'm going to say. Oh, signed and painted, then I'll put the varnish on that too. Yeah, that's what I will say. So I'm just going around the edge because I've noticed I've got a dirty black mark where my fingers have been. So I'm running around some pink, some red and some yellow, and just giving it a bit of a mix in, just to give it that fiery element. And I'll also put a bit of UV in his eye. I mean, look here. They are not teeth. They're not. They're really not. And look, they look stupid now. It looks really derpy. And I'm going around the edge of it and then put a little bit more of the red shiny over the black bits, some of the bits where it's too dark, just to give it a highlight of light. And then I'll also go in with a bit of yellow. Do I use white? It might be white actually. But look, derpy. It's ridiculous. So yeah, thank God I changed that. Really, I'm glad, because I can see it here now and I'm thinking, what were you thinking? What were you doing? I'd got the picture, like I said, in front of me. Never even noticed that they weren't even white. And I'm just highlighting bits and bobs with the yellow. And don't forget to check out the playlist. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers and members and everyone else that watches and supports me. And yeah, don't forget to get a discount if you're going to buy anything. Saves you some money. Thank you for watching. Check out the pictures and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.
In a world of shadows, light does sing. A goth unicorn with a blackened wing. Happy she dances under moonlit nights, creating beauty, spurring on delight. Her hooves tap softly to the softest bell.